Hello, everybody, and of course, welcome back to another episode of X Talking Ish with my boy Ishmael.
What up? What up?
We appreciate everyone as always for tuning in. Usually, of course, on Tuesday nights, but we had to push it a day later because, of course, today on Wednesday, the NFL dropped the full schedule of the release for the upcoming 2021-2022 NFL season. So Ish and I talked about it, and we felt like it would make no sense to have a show yesterday and then have a show next Tuesday to recap the NFL schedule. So we just decided to go ahead and move this show just for this week to Wednesday. Next week we'll be back on Tuesday at 9 o'clock as always. And as well, if you are on Facebook, please make sure you like and share this broadcast so we can get more people tuning in as well. If you are on Twitter, please make sure you watch our broadcast at my Twitter page at X_Williams81. And if you are on YouTube, you already know what to do. Please make sure you subscribe to that YouTube page and make sure you hit that notification bell, Ish.
Ding.
Thank you very much for that. All right, like we said, it is the 2021 NFL schedule release. And Ish, to be honest with you, this NFL season, I don't know if people are tuning in or not, but this is going to be a very, 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 very fun season to watch.
Oh yeah, it's
very,
definitely
very
gonna be
fun season to watch. I mean, the whole spectrum of the NFL is getting better on all even the bottom teams. I mean, the teams that are at the bottom, you might feel like, oh, you ain't worried about the Cincinnati Bengals. Well, I mean, you might want to be worried about them. They might catch a couple of people out here. The Detroit Lions, hey, you might want to worry about them a couple of games here and there because they might sneak up on people, especially with Jared Goff. But the NFL as a whole is getting better every year. Of course, besides the new rookies that are coming in, some of these old wily vets like a Thomas Brady is still trying to come out here and make sure that he lets you rookies know that, hey, I'm still here and I will go out and go get another Super Bowl ring. With that being said, we'll start off with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they open up the NFL season on Thursday Night Football against America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, and the return of Dak Prescott. Ish, we'll just talk about this game real quickly and real briefly. How you feel about the season opener?
Yeah. I mean, really, they're pandering to the Cowboy fans. At this point, that's all that is because there's nothing that happened last season that warrants the Cowboys opening the season up against Tampa Bay, other than you're banking on the Cowboys being, America's team. You're hoping that Dak Prescott is back. I mean, there's no guarantee that Dak. I mean, they're saying Dak is on track, but there's no guarantee Dak starts game one. So if Dak isn't back, then that even tanks this game even worse. I mean, the Bucs are highly favored. They have to be highly favored in this game. So for me, it's kind of like a game. It's not even that interesting, to be honest.
No, it's funny that you say that because I was definitely somebody that assumed that you would be all in on this game. I mean, this is America's team against the America man with Tom Brady going from the Patriots and then saying, hey, I don't need you no more. I'm going to go to Tampa. I'm going to go to Florida. I'm going to take my talents to South a little bit, a little bit north of South Beach. But you get what I'm saying. And go out and go win the Super Bowl ring. And for Tom Brady to be able to host this season opener, not in Foxborough, but in Tampa, and to be able to play against, I'm not going to hype up Dak. I'm not going to hype him up. I'll let the Cowboys fans do that because that's what they love to do every year against their main man, Dak, because they feel, sure. I'm just saying, they feel like he's the guy. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if this is what the Cowboys missed out on when it comes to we can't do anything because Dak is gone. Remember, that was a lot of people. I felt like Zeke fell off because he just didn't have his guy. He didn't have the offensive line. So this is a redemption year for Dak, for Zeke, for Mike McCartney. for a lot of for some of these players on the Dallas Cowboy rosters, we saw, of course, Tyrone Crawford retire as well this season. There's going to be some holes that they have to replace, and they did on the defense side of the ball. So I'm going to be very interested to see what the Cowboys can bring week 1. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning that game, but maybe the Cowboys can keep it a little competitive with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers bringing back all 22 starters on both sides of the ball.
No, I don't think so.
All right, we have to wait and see. Let's just talk about the Thursday night slate right quick. Like we did talk about, of course, Tampa Bay and the Dallas Cowboys starting off the season. October 7th, you have the Rams and Seahawks, of course, divisional matchup there. Week after that, you have the Bucs and the Eagles, Broncos and the Browns. And the funny thing about that game, depending on what goes on with Aaron Rodgers, and we might touch on that a little briefly tonight, it could be Aaron Rodgers versus Baker Mayfield, depending on if he,
or it could be the other way around. It could be Aaron Rodgers versus Teddy Bridgewater.
From reports that I've heard, apparently he's not going to Cleveland. But you're correct. We have to wait and see. It's a crazy, crazy league. All right. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay versus Kyler Murray, as Akeem Talib would say. New York Jets versus the Indianapolis Colts. The Ravens versus the Dolphins. The Patriots versus the Falcons. Cowboys again versus the Saints. Steelers versus the Vikings. Chiefs and Chargers. And a Christmas Day special with the Browns and the Packers. So again, that is the Thursday night slate. We'll touch a little bit on the Sunday night slate, Sunday night football. With the Cowboy, and I was mistaken. I apologize. I thought it was Thursday night football. I apologize. It was Sunday night football that comes on. My bad. So yeah, kickoff will be Sunday night football for the Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So my apologies. And then week 1 after that will be the Bears and the Rams, the Chiefs and the Ravens, Green Bay versus 49ers, Tampa again versus the New England Patriots, and of course that is Tom Brady's first game back in New England. That is something, of course, we'll talk about a little bit after the Sunday night games, and the Monday night games we'll go over. Buffalo Bills, Kansas City, Seattle Seahawks versus the Steelers, the Colts versus the 49ers, the Cowboys versus the Vikings, Tennessee Titans versus the Rams, Kansas City Chiefs versus the Raiders on my birthday, and of course we saw what happened a year prior when it comes to the Raiders giving the Chiefs some fits. I guess NFL said, "Hey, let's everybody see it for a national appearance, right? Yeah, let's see the Raiders get blown out, apparently." And that will be in Vegas as well too. So we will see, of course, that glorious stadium that the Raiders have. The Steelers versus the Chargers, the Bills versus the Saints. That will be on Thanksgiving. The Browns versus the Ravens, the 49ers versus the Seattle Seahawks, the Bears versus the Giants, the Saints versus the Bucs, Washington football team against the Cowboys, the Vikings versus the Packers, and Week 18 will be to be determined. So we will see who will be playing that Sunday night game. And, of course, to round off Monday Night Football, these are just the primetime games we are speaking of at the moment. Week 1, Baltimore and the Raiders. That will be the first game of Monday Night Football. Of course, like I said before, this will be the first time the Raiders will be able to have fans in these stands. Remember, Mark Davis said, if the fans are not there, I will not be there. So for sure, that stadium will be rocking. I feel like the Ravens should win that game. But it's going to be very interesting to see how Lamar Jackson and the rest of the offensive team are able to handle the noise that is going to be impacted throughout that stadium. It's going to be rocking.
Good thing they run the ball.
You're correct. You're 100% correct. You're 100% correct. But I feel like it's going to give anybody headaches, no matter if you run or throw the ball or, of course, do a combination too. All right. Week 2, the Lions and Packers. Eagles, Cowboys, of course, divisional matchup for both of those weeks. Raiders, Chargers, Colts, Ravens, Bills, Titans, Saints, Seahawks, Giants, Chiefs, Bears, Steelers, Rams, 49ers, Giants, Buccaneers, Seahawks, Washington football team, Patriots, Bills, Rams, Cardinals, Vikings, Bears, Dolphins, Saints, and the Browns versus the Steelers to finish off Week 17. And just to caveat off of the schedule as well, too, if you have not heard, there will be no 2 Monday Night Football games to start off this season. They are actually kind of swinging things over towards the end of the season, and they will finish off Week 18 with 2 primetime Saturday night football games. So they will flex games from that Sunday slate on Sunday, because usually they'll play all the games on Sunday to get ready for the week after for Wild Card Weekend. They will move 2 games from that Sunday slate to Saturday for primetime games, and the rest will be played on Sunday. To be determined, of course, we have to wait and see how teams are towards the end of the season to figure out who will be playing on that Sunday night games. But I will say, it is very interesting to see this schedule. It's very interesting to see how they were able to put all this together to make it very competitive. Unfortunately/fortunately, depending on if you are a fan or not of some of these teams, as you saw with the primetime games, some teams are on there a couple of times more than other teams. But hopefully the teams that are on there can give us some pretty good television. Because if there's teams on there that, you know how it is, Ish, looks good before the season starts, then all of a sudden they have an injury or two, and it's like, week 12, like, we gotta watch such and such.
So I was actually gonna say, when we had all the primetime games up and everything, as of right now, there aren't very many games that you can pick out and you can be like, I just don't want to see that. Like, it seems like they learned from last year, and there aren't very many games that you just look at and you're just like, I
see Monday Night Football, New York Giants, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I mean, but still, you want to see. The thing about that is, they got some matchups that you're kind of looking at and you're like, that's not a good primetime matchup. But at the same time, at least one of the teams is a team that's interesting, or a team you may want to watch, right? Like last year when you were having some of these NFC East battles, it was like, bro, both teams are bad. Nobody wants to watch bad football. Like, yeah, it's football, but nobody wants to watch, the Giants and the Cowboys play each other. Like, that's boring as hell. So this year, at least, most of the matchups look okay. The one caveat I have to say about that, the Chicago Bears, why do they have so many primetime games? If Andy Dalton is the starting quarterback, I don't want to see that nonsense. Get it off my screen. I don't want to see
they
Chicago
are on Sunday night football
game.
They are on Sunday night 2 times.
And they got a Monday night game, right?
They are on Monday night. They are on Monday night twice.
Look, I mean,
they are on Thursday night. My bad. No,
they just on Monday and Sunday. 4 primetime games. 4 primetime games. The Chicago Bears, 4 primetime games.
You want to know what that sounds like to me? It sounds like Justin Fields might be starting a lot sooner.
Man, they better be starting Justin Fields, because I don't want to watch them. I don't want to watch them with Andy Dalton. Okay,
you don't want to watch the Red Rocket? You don't want to watch him do what he did with Dallas?
Coming for Dallas, I don't want to see it again.
Red Rocket, you had the perfect opportunity to be able to capitalize on that situation. You back in your home state, playing with the Cowboys. You had a perfect opportunity, and yeah.
I don't want to see the Bears with Andy Dalton. No. Not for 4 primetime games. They better have Justin Fields, please, for the sake of America, for the sake of my sanity.
Sake of America.
Please beat out Andy Dalton so we don't have to see that nonsense. I don't want to watch that 4 times in primetime. I don't want to see Andy Dalton.
You can watch some great defensive play by Khalil Mack.
No, I don't want to see Andy Dalton. It's gonna be boring, man. That offense was boring to watch last year, and it's gonna be boring again if Andy Dalton stays in there the whole season.
Now, we're getting to, of course, the certain game that people, of course, want to watch. Now, is there a specific team that you're looking at besides your favorite team that schedule either favors or hurts them?
I'm trying to look at all of the division matchups that are going on across the league. I've looked at a lot of the primetime games, but I haven't really seen what all the division matchups are throughout the league just yet. But I would say the teams. Okay, so I'll give you actually divisions that I know for a fact that it's going to be interesting how they match up against. Okay, so for one, it looks like the AFC North is playing the AFC West in yeah, it looks like they're matched up with the AFC West. So you got like Baltimore having to play the Chiefs. You're gonna have you got Cleveland having to play the Chiefs. You got the Bengals playing the Chiefs. You got the Steelers having to play the Chiefs. That's going to be interesting to see some of these divisional matchups that are going to span divisions because, like the AFC North, that's going to be a close division. That you expect three teams competing for the top spot in that division. The AFC West is not the division I want to be matched up with if I'm in the AFC North because playing the Raiders, we do always say about the Raiders like, oh, they're up and down. They only really play against the Chiefs. They're still not an easy out. So having to play the Raiders, all three of those teams having to play the Raiders, all three of those teams having to play the Chiefs, the Broncos, we know what their defense is like. That could really make for an interesting end of the season with the AFC North. I would say the same thing about the NFC West, except for I believe that division just happens to be the best division in football. So for them, I think that it doesn't matter who they playing outside of their division. As long as they go in and do what they're supposed to do, I don't expect them having some real issues. The Buccaneers got a really easy schedule for some reason. Can we talk about that?
Well, I was going to bring up Lee's comment, and I appreciate you for segue into that. Lee says that Bucs schedule is cupcake. Look at them last 4 games for the Bucs.
Yeah, bro, can we talk about why did they get such an easy schedule?
Well, you know how it is, right? We can run it down right quick. We won where they have the Cowboys, week 2 the Falcons, week 3 at the Rams, week 4 at Patriots, Dolphins at Eagles, Bears, week 7, week 8 at New Orleans, week 9 bye. And to be honest with you, I mean, they pretty much have the best bye. I mean, right? Literally smack dab in the middle of the season. At Washington football team, week 10, against the Giants at home, at Indy, at Falcons, home against the Bills, home against the Saints, at Panthers, at Jets, home against the Panthers. So,
hold on. Can I point something out real quick?
Of course you can.
If you're the Ravens and you're a Ravens fan, there's 2 ways you can look at this. If you're a glass half full kind of person, your team's going to be ready going into the playoffs. If you're a glass half empty kind of person, it could be ugly at the end of the season. You got, starting from week 12, you have the Browns, the Steelers, the Browns, the Packers, the Bengals, the Rams, and the Steelers. Talk about end of your season.
Depending on what Steeler team we see.
I mean, but hey, that Steeler team was undefeated to open the season last year. Yeah. So if they're anything close to what they were last year, that's not an easy schedule to end your season with.
You're right. No, I'm saying I'm not disagreeing with you at all. Nah, I'm just trying to figure out what Steeler team gonna show up this year. That's all.
I mean, who knows? What Raven team gonna show up?
The
team that won the playoff game, or the team that just run the ball and everybody know what they're gonna do?
Lee says they basically have 2 bye weeks as well because that first game is Thursday. They get extra rest as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My team that I'm looking forward to see how their team develops throughout the season is a former Titans offensive coordinator, now head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, Arthur Smith, with his first year being the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Mm-hmm. I want to see how he's able to navigate being a head coach, not just, of course, taking his team into a new 18-week schedule, but you do open the season off with some pretty decent matchups to where you probably could go into week 6 bye with maybe a winning record, right? So going into, unfortunately, week 6, which is your bye week, after that, you play against the Dolphins, the Panthers, the Saints, the Cowboys, the Patriots, the Jaguars, the Buccaneers, the Panthers, 49ers, Lions, Bills, and Saints. That end of the season matchups, those are some nice matchups, but you do have the weapons, right? Atlanta Falcons, offensive wise, they have a team. Defense, of course, they still have to fix up a lot of loose ends on the defensive side of the ball, pretty much ranking almost last in a lot of defensive categories last year. But it's going to be very interesting to see because week 5 they play in London against New York Jets. So that's not as difficult for any head coach to do, to have to take your team across the pond and play, of course, on national television. I'm assuming they should win that game. Let's be real, the Jets. Depending on which Jets show, we have a lot of question marks on the Jets as well.
Let's see what Zach Wilson look like.
Exactly. So I'm interested to see how the Falcons are able to play out this season, because could this be the end of Julio Jones in Atlanta? Could this also be maybe the end of Matt Ryan in Atlanta as well too? Could they just say, we need to just scrap this whole thing? After those first 5 games of the season going to the bye week, Arthur Smith and his staff might go up to Arthur Blank and realize and figure out, all right, we need to make a move. We need to seriously make some changes. And who knows, maybe Julio Jones might be gone by that bye week.
I'm happy you brought up the Falcons, because that was going to be my next point as far as strength of schedule. Currently, the Falcons are ranked number 30 when it comes to strength of schedule. So they've got a pretty easy schedule. The Buccaneers are ranked just above them at 29. So like we were saying already, they got a real easy schedule. Guess the teams that got the 2 easiest schedules.
Cowboys and I can't remember the other team, but I know the Cowboys
got the Eagles.
Yeah.
Cowboys and Eagles.
Let's remember everybody that is tuning in to X Talking Ish. When they do rank the hardest to the easiest, they are going off of records from last year.
Yeah, let's remember
that NFC least was very horrible last year, so they are going off of the records of last year, and of course that NFC least have to play each other twice a year. So just because teams do have an easier schedule or a harder schedule does not predict how they're going to play coming into this season, because just because you had a 10-6 record last year doesn't mean you'll have a 11-6, because there are 17 games this upcoming season. There will be people are going to mess it up this whole year, but there are 17 games.
I would say this, that you are correct, that just because your strength of schedule looks good based off of last season's record, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have a harder or easier time, with the exception of there are just certain teams that that game is going to be a harder game, right? Like, yes, it's the NFL. Every team's going to come to play. But, like, if you got the Buccaneers on your schedule, that's a game that most teams are going in as the underdog in, right? Like, you just realize that. When you play the Chiefs, most teams know you're going in as the underdog, right? When you're playing, if Aaron Rodgers is with the Packers, most teams looking at going in as the underdog against the Packers, right? So, like, the teams that have some of these other teams on their record, like on their schedule, they know there are some of these games that they know, like, yeah, we got a pretty rough schedule. Like I was saying with the AFC North, bro, the AFC North, the Steelers have the toughest schedule. The Ravens have the toughest schedule. Then you got the Browns are ranked number 9, and the Bengals don't even matter. So, but the 3 teams that would be competing, those 3 teams that would compete for the AFC North are in the top 10 when it comes to strength of the schedule. So they are going to have a tough road going forward. And it's who wins that division, I think, are the teams that are able to win some of these games against some of these tougher opponents. That
and it's a battle of nutrition.
It's
about who's going to be the healthiest come week 14, week 15, week 16, because it's going to be a grueling season this year. If you're not built to be a Cleveland Browns, Tennessee Titans, even Pittsburgh Steelers, when it comes to we're trying to out physical you, and by the time the third and fourth quarter come, then we can go ahead and throw it over the top of your head. We can finesse you a little bit because we've already punished you a little bit more. When it comes to teams that like to play finesse football, And I'm talking about the Chiefs. I feel like the Chiefs, they play a little bit of both. They play power and finesse. I ain't talking about just that. I'm talking about teams like the Packers. Talking about teams like, teams like the Chargers and whatnot that just want to get in, look pretty, and get on moving. It's gonna be very interesting to see what happens with them. All right, another quick topic before we head on to the rest of the topics to the rest of the show as well. For everybody that is tuning in, and of course for you and me as well, Ish, what game are you guys most looking forward to watch? It could be a primetime game. It could be a regular season game. Regular season that's not on primetime. What game are you most forward watching to look? Because I know there are a lot of games out there. And Ish, let's go ahead and start off with you.
You know the game that I'm actually looking forward to watching the most, I think, as of right now, because it'll change as the season goes. There will be teams that are playing really well that I'll be like, ooh, I really want to see that matchup. But just looking like right now, I'm going to keep it real simple. I'm going to look at week 1, and it's my Kansas City Chiefs against the Cleveland Browns. I really want to see that game. Excuse me. I was talking about after the draft, I was saying like, hey, the Browns, I'm all on them again. I think that they're going to win the AFC North. If they can come out and do what they were doing before with the 1-2 punch of, Kareem Hunt and my boy Nick Chubb, I think that if you can get OBJ working back in that system, Baker Mayfield plays close to what he did last year, they could be trouble for teams. I want to see how the Chiefs do against the Browns. I think that is a big-time game. It sets the tone for the season. So that's the game right now that I'm looking forward to, mainly because the Chiefs are my team, and I want to see how they do.
Okay. I respect it. I like it a lot. Let's go into the comment section right quick. Lee says, besides Chiefs, I like revenge games. Darnold against the Jets, Brady against the Patriots, Lions, Rams with Goff going back to L.A. Yes, I do agree with you, Lee, and I definitely was going to bring up Brady against the Pats. But to be honest with you, I feel like that is too easy.
Yeah,
that's too easy.
Too easy.
Because everybody wants to watch that. So I'm gonna throw out. I'm serious. I'm gonna throw out a doozy that nobody's expecting for me to throw out here, and I'm gonna go with the Week 5, the Buffalo Bills against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, I mean, that's a rematch of the AFC. Come on now.
Well, there you go. That's what I'm saying. I want to see it again. Throw it out. As Lee would say, another revenge game for the Buffalo Bills. We get to see if the Buffalo Bills are real, which I think that they are. I think Josh Allen is for real. For some reason, I'm looking at media boards and social boards out here in the world, and a lot of people still are not sold on Josh Allen. I've heard people compare him to Blake Bortles when it comes to him having only one good year. I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. I was like, that is very disrespectful because as you can see with Blake Bortles' career right now, he is now with the Packers, which is their third quarterback on the roster. So again, we'll get to Aaron Rodgers real soon, but
that's mad disrespectful.
With Josh Allen, that is a franchise quarterback. That is a guy that's going to be with Buffalo for another 10 more years. And to be honest, if they can continue to do what they did last year with him and Diggs, they are the threat. They are the threat against the Kansas City Chiefs. It's not the Titans. It's not the Browns. It's not anybody else. It is Buffalo and Kansas City. And Ish, you know how I am. I'm realistic when it comes to football. I love my team. I love watching football. But one thing I love about watching these Buffalo Bills is watching them not just play hard, but also build through the draft as well. I don't know if anybody's watching the draft and saw the picks that they've made over the last 4 years and saw how those draft picks have been able to not just contribute on the field, but also become Pro Bowlers, all pro players, and also like a Josh Allen come in as a rookie and get better in year 3 and year 4, hopefully next year if it's next year coming up as a starting quarterback. I'm all in on the Buffalo Bills. I want to see how that game goes, and I think they can. I honestly feel like they can do a little some against the Chiefs, and Let me see. It's one more game as well. Oh, and also as well, besides that game, I want to go also week 14, Buffalo against the Buccaneers at Tampa. That'll be December 12th.
Bro,
Like
you
I said,
all on this Buffalo team, huh?
hey, I'm just saying they have both offense and defense. I feel like they match up well with a lot of different teams out here, and they can do multiple things with The Rock. And I just feel like when they are on, they can compete with anybody out here in the NFL. With my team, the Tennessee Titans, I feel like we still have holes. We're getting better, but we still have holes. And of course, it's easy to throw out, Aaron Rodgers or such and such or such and such. But to see it on both sides of the ball, that's why I would like to see what the Buffalo Bills have in store for us moving forward. Lee says Chiefs Packers if Rodgers stays healthy. If Rodgers stays, I will be in attendance. If that is the case, make sure you send us some pictures, Lee. If you do, we would appreciate that. All righty then, like we said a little bit before about Aaron Rodgers, we'll just speak a little briefly on the Aaron Rodgers watch because ain't really too much to be talked about at the moment, but last report said that maybe Denver are in talks. Ish, how do you feel about that?
I guess you can go play for John Elway. I mean, we've seen it before from Denver, right? They got Peyton Manning. They ended up going to the Super Bowl.
And that's what I was going to get
defense. So, it could definitely work out for them. It'll be interesting to add Aaron Rodgers to the mix in the AFC West because then you got Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes 2 times a year. That's very interesting to watch. If I'm a Chiefs fan, I don't want to see Aaron Rodgers in Denver. I like Denver how they are right now. I don't know. We'll see, man. And what does that trade include? So, like, is Teddy going back the other way to Green Bay?
That's what it seemed like, honestly. Either that or from what I see, it might be both quarterbacks. But the Packers did just pick up Blake Bortles, so now I think that takes out one of the quarterbacks, maybe add in a pick instead of bringing in both quarterbacks. The reason why I think it's interesting with him going to Denver if it does happen, because if you look at John Elway's track record when it comes to quarterbacks, him bringing in quarterbacks, the only hit he has at the moment is Peyton Manning. Everybody else has been misses, right? And if John Elway is able to get Peyton Manning and maybe Aaron Rodgers and be able to and have Aaron Rodgers do what Peyton Manning did and also John Elway did for the Denver Broncos, which is come at the end of your career and win some championships for the Denver Broncos. Unfortunately, it actually makes John Elway's aura of player and GM that much greater because it throws away Brock Osweiler and Paxton Lynch and all these other bums, Trevor Siemian and all them bums that he had before in the bad years of the Broncos, that it only takes 2 years of winning a Super Bowl and everything else is forgotten. Think about that. It could happen. I don't think it will, but it could happen. NFL's crazy. You never know what
he should go to Las Vegas.
I've said that since day one. I agree with you on that one, sir. All right, let's get into some real athlete talk right quick, because this was a very interesting feat that Mr. DK Metcalf did at the Golden Games. He decided to go ahead and lace up the spikes and run 100 meters. Now, I think a lot of people didn't take him seriously when he first said that he was going to do this because of just besides him being an athletic freak, I don't think a lot of people took him seriously just because he's not really he's not Tyreek Hill, right? He's not Goodwin.
Yeah.
He's not certain guys that you.
He's not a guy that you would have said oh yeah, he should go run in the Olympic qualifiers.
Exactly. So it was never a knock on DK, but a lot of people, of course, kept on bringing up the clip of him hawking down Buda Baker.
Buda Baker.
There you go, Buda Baker. When he was returning that pick from Russ Wilson, and some people, I'm assuming, felt like that could transition from the field to the track. Well, not only did it transition, But any other time, a 10.36 in any other 100-meter race would be pretty damn good. But in this heat that he ran, he did come in last. No knock to DK, because to be honest, at 235, running that fast, where everybody else is 160 to maybe 180, it's pretty damn good. Did not get left in the dust. He was there, but if you look at seriously though, if you look at the lineup of the track athletes that were out there, and you see a big old monster on the end in lane 2, you obviously could tell who was a football player and who was a track star. Ish, you and I ran track in high school. What did you think about DK Metcalf's performance out there?
I mean, it was good. It was good to see him go out there. He, like you said, it was a good try. It was a solid run, really, for somebody his size, to run that fast. I mean, he's a freak athlete, freak of nature. Maybe you'll get more guys who might go out and try to run. It's good for track and field, because it brought a lot of eyes to the sport. A sport that really only gets love from outside the diehards. It really only gets love during the Olympics. I don't see very many people always checking for who. And right now, if you talk about the U.S. National team as far as sprinters, there's really nobody that's bringing headlines or anything. There's no guy that you're really talking about. And I think the track, especially in the sprint game right now, they're looking for that big name drawing, because you don't have Usain Bolt anymore.
Yep.
I mean, I think it was good for track. It brought some eyes to it. Maybe moving forward, you might see more guys actually say, hey, I can go in the NFL draft. I can get drafted by a team, but that doesn't mean that I can't still run track and, possibly run in the Olympics.
And I'm happy you brought this up, Ish, because like you said, athletes going from one sport to another. It's happened multiple times. This isn't the first time this has happened. We can name multiple players. But unfortunately, in the sport of boxing at this moment, we have more of these entertainers and these athletes that are trying to pretty much make a quick buck by hopping in the ring and putting on a show, right, for whoever, expedition, whatever it is, or whatever you're trying to do. At the end of the day, it's a cash grab, okay? Mm-hmm. Seeing players go and disrespect a sport like boxing, I feel like it's disrespectful to the sport and disrespectful to the athlete, to be honest with you. And to see DK go from football to track and to do what he did, like you said, Ish, I would love to see more athletes do that. I would love to see different NFL players say, let's go line up in track meet for this upcoming season, and let's go see if we can, of course you got to be invited, of course, but it's interesting to see there's so many different eyes say, let me go ahead and take a peek at DK and see what he's doing on this track and field, because like you said, track needs another superstar for these next year. We have Tokyo Games, of course, and I don't think there's anybody that's headlining that we know is say, hey, this is the guy for not just Tokyo Olympics, but for the next Olympics that we got to keep an eye out on. Luckily for us, we had Usain Bolt during our high school years, and I mean that was magical, honestly, to be able to watch that, to watch what Usain Bolt did. It's of course, the memes that had come out from Usain Bolt. Will we ever have that again? Honestly, yes. Because we always say it will never happen again, and it does, right? It's going to happen. We just have to be patient.
Yeah, I mean, I think the kids nowadays, we comment all the time, like they seem to be getting bigger, stronger, faster than when we were growing up. So I definitely think that it's possible you can have somebody come and beat Usain Bolt's records. You can have somebody come and do what he did. I think it's good that you pointed out, like, what DK did was actually respectful. Like, he went in there, he competed. Obviously, he was off the pace just by a little bit, but he is like a lot bigger than the people he was competing against. So it's not like they invited him just for the publicity. Like, he actually has the speed, and I thought that it was great that he ran as fast as he did, because it proved to those people who were saying like, oh, it's just it's just for clout. Oh, he's disrespecting track and field. Like, nah, it proved this guy's actually pretty quick. Like, maybe with some more training, better technique, he could actually finish a lot better. Because the thing is, with track, a lot of people think if you're not technique. Really into it, it's just running, right? But no, it's not. There is technique to it. There is a way to actually generate more speed. There is a way to start your race. So to know that he put in the work that he did, he went to Arizona, tried to get into that speed, and to put on the performance he did, it's not like what's going on in boxing right now, where you just got a bunch of people out here just trying to make money, trying to get clout, trying to get their name out there. Like, this guy respected track and field. He really actually wanted to go and qualify. And like I said, I would love to see more people do it. I think that you will see more athletes do it. You will have some of these guys that are coming up through high school, college now, that have that track speed, that are running on track teams, that might just say, hey, I will still do this in the offseason. I don't necessarily want to see Tyreek Hill do that. Only because he is so valuable to our team. I don't want to see him go out there and pull a hamstring.
And that's one thing I was going to bring up about Seattle. I'm pretty sure the Seattle organization was holding their breath for those 10 seconds because they did not want anything to happen to DK. Yes, I definitely agree with you on that one, because DK and Tyreek Hill are very valuable pieces to that offensive team for both teams. So I agree with you, Ish, on that one. Nobody wants anybody to go out there and get hurt, but these guys are athletes, and they train like almost every day, right?
Hey, it's a balance. But another thing. So what we're just talking about, there has been big headlines about the offensive lineman from Denver who got hurt off of team facilities, and so a lot of people, it brought back up that if you get hurt working out off of the team premises, they don't have to pay you. They don't owe you any money. So this right here, the fact that DK still went through with that even after that situation happened, it shows that, he really wanted to do it. So much so that he was willing to put his paycheck on the line, his livelihood on the line, right? Because if one of these athletes go out there and get hurt, they do pull a hamstring or something, do tear an Achilles, an ACL, which God forbid you don't want that to happen. But they are not getting paid from their NFL team. So that is something that, athletes are going to have to balance the risk of that and try to figure out whether or not it's worth it. Do you feel comfortable doing it? But yeah, I don't know. That is part of the whole decision making. And I think that will truly weed out the people who just want to go out there for clout and the people who actually want to go out there and make the Olympic team.
I definitely agree with you on that. All right, let's go ahead and get on the last topic for tonight. And unfortunately, a very a situation that definitely made everybody's ears perk up earlier in this week, when apparently the Jacksonville Jaguars will let everyone know that they are going to sign Tim Tebow to a 1-year deal to play not quarterback, but tight end. Alrighty then. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close it off for tonight, because that'll do it for X Talking Ish, because no reason to talk about this. no, but seriously, we're going to talk about this for a little bit, and then we'll end the night on X Talking Ish. But Ish, I'll let you go first, because I feel like you have a little bit on your mind. So go ahead and let it be, sir.
Bro, this is a joke, man. Like, Urban Meyer has come in as coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he has done nothing but just destroy his name, his reputation, if he had a positive one to begin with. First, he hired old boy from Iowa, which there was a lot of backlash, so much so that the dude had to resign. And now you go and you pick up Tim Tebow to play tight end. Like, what are you doing, Urban Meyer? I have to question what your motive is for this. I know he just came out. He said coaches were raving about him, saying he looked like he was 18 years old. This guy has been playing baseball for the past couple of years. Now you got him coming back to play tight end. So many people wanted him to play tight end years ago, and that man kept saying no, 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 no. So also you got to look at like Tim Tebow. What is the point of this? What is the point of this? Do you actually really want to play tight end? Are you actually working on your craft to play tight end? Can this man block? Can this man catch? Does he run routes the right way? Like, I just saw this and I was like, why? Why? I am confused. I'm perplexed. I don't know what Urban Meyer's doing. I don't know if he just feels like any publicity is good publicity, so he just want to get the Jaguars out there and people talking about them. But I don't know. I'll be interested to see what happens. I'd like to see Tim Tebow get on the field, and I don't wish him getting hurt, but I like to see what he's able to do.
All right, I appreciate your soliloquy there, Ish, and I'm just gonna keep it real as always on X Talking Ish because that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
How old is Tim Tebow?
Shoot, let me look that up.
I know. No, you don't have to. You don't have to. He is 33 years old. Okay. Second question. What position will he be playing in the NFL this upcoming season?
We're a tight end.
Okay. What was the position he was playing years prior to this position right now?
Quarterback.
Okay, so let's just all go back a little bit. Let's just take a step back, couple of steps back here, Ish. From Little League football to high school to college to pro. What we know about quarterbacks is they wear a different color jersey than everybody else at practice, right? Okay, and that means that they are protected because they don't want those guys to get hurt, not because they are soft, but because they're very valuable, right? All right. Serious question for the people that are tuning in. Can somebody please seriously answer me, when was the last time that Tim Tebow blocked anyone? That's all. I don't care about catching. I don't care about running routes. I am more worried about Tim Tebow having to line up against Aaron Donald and having to block Aaron Donald off the edge. I am more worried about him having to block David from the Buccaneers coming off a blitz before he releases out for a route. I'm more worried about him having to deal with guys like a Jadeveon Clowney that's going to have him eating up his lunch all for the rest of the year and for the rest of the day. Here's my thing. I'm not mad at Tim Tebow. I'm mad at Urban Meyer because I honestly feel like Urban Meyer, his brain cells are deteriorating faster than anybody is imagining, because I think he thinks that Tim Tebow can save him because he's Lord Tebow of Florida. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised next if we see Percy Harvin out here, or if we see Cam. I wouldn't be surprised to see Cam playing for the Jags. I mean, might as well get the rest of the Florida Gator team out here. Might as well bring. And I was going to say it too. From the dead.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So with that being said, I said Urban was going to be there for a year and a half. I'm sticking to it because I honestly don't even think Tim Tebow is going to make the 53-man roster. I think he'll be on the practice squad. Because if you look at the makeup of the tight ends that we have in the NFL now, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Darren Waller, Jared Cook. I mean, I can keep going on and on.
Please put Lee's comment up because
y'all telling me Tebow has the athletic ability to compete as a tight end in the NFL nowadays?
All right, just put Lee's comment up because
Lee says, I have a friend who's a diehard Jags friend, and he's saying it's all for the locker room, blah, 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 leadership and all this nonsense. And I'm happy that he brought that up because I did say that as well too. Because here's the thing. Lee, your friend is partially correct. It is for the leadership. It is for all that. If your ass been in the league for the last 5 years,
Yeah, like what respect does Tim Tebow gain coming on these teams? Like because I heard the same thing, and I thought about it. That was
I
one of
thought
the first
about
things that
too.
crossed
Yeah,
my
I
mind.
did
I was
too.
like, okay,
It's Tebow.
historically he's been the kind of guy that
he's
he's
guy.
able to pump people up. He's able to
The rah rah
inspire.
speech, the rah rah speech from Florida. Yeah,
But then I thought about it, and I was like, this dude hasn't been in the game. He's been sitting
he's been commentating
doing
on SEC
SEC
Network.
network. He's been playing baseball. Like, what respect do you get? And then you also have to think about like some of these kids that are on the team, some of these like rookies, these younger guys, they weren't around when Tim Tebow was doing the stuff in Florida. Like they don't really care.
We
Like,
remember
he's not that guy.
Like
He's
we
not
remember,
that guy to them.
but
So, like, what respect does Tim Tebow get in that locker room? Last I checked, you earn respect on the field. You earn respect by the way you work in the weight room. Like, is he gonna work in the weight room? Yeah, I think he's gonna work in the weight room. But is he gonna be able to pull his weight on the field?
No, the other question is, will he make it through 17 games?
Bro, he hasn't.
He hasn't. I'm sorry, you're correct on that one. That's the first thing. Make the team. Second off, you haven't played a game since 2012 ish. You haven't played a game since 2012. 2012.
Hey,
now and let me end it on this because we're gonna wrap this up and I'm ending on this. For my Kaepernick friends and fans that are out there, please stop trying to compare this to Kaepernick.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Please,
I don't.
It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
Kaepernick
Stop trying to compare it because you have people.
Blackballed. Tim Tebow, nobody wanted him. Let's call
and
it.
And hold up. You have people out here because I see it too. You have people out here saying, "Oh well, the reason why Tebow's getting a chance is because he's decided to change positions, and maybe if Kaepernick decided to play tight end, he might still be." Shut the hell up, everybody! Shut the hell up, please. Everybody that's saying that, shut the hell up. You sound stupid. You sound stupid. That's. I'm gonna be point blank period and just obvious with you that you sound stupid trying to say something like that to cover up. You just, anyways. I'm going to leave it at that for tonight because besides the schedule that came out today, like I said, other things like Tebow was making me roll my eyes. And to finish off with Lee's comment, he said, Shannon Sharp blasted Tebow saying he loves the fame and publicity and nobody is going to listen to him. Yeah, I mean.
Nah, I 100% agree. Like
you'll have Gardner Minshew in there listening to him a little bit. But I mean, I'm serious. No, I'm serious. But other than that, I mean, like think of a linebacker or defensive end. Like, oh yeah, Tebow, thanks for the pep talk. I mean, and again, no disrespect, he'll probably be the team's chaplain. You know, he'll make sure he has his prayer circle.
Yeah.
He'll have his prayer circle. Make sure he connects with people with pray and stuff. But other than that, y'all expect Tebow to catch the 800 yards this season? 8 touchdowns? No? Okay. I will say this though, to finish it up for tonight. Odds are like 1,500 plus 1,500 in Vegas scoring a touchdown. I will throw $100 on that though. I ain't gonna lie. They will for the state of Florida, they gonna get Tebow a goddamn touchdown. They're gonna get Tebow a touchdown before he get up out of that Jags uniform.
Yeah, they're gonna find a way to
take that bet. Easy money. Alrighty then. Sorry about that, guys. I had to I don't know, man. I had to get a little lit for that one because I don't know about you, Ish, but that's gonna be interesting to watch, and we'll be on the Tebow watch. Apparently,
we will. We'll be on the Tebow watch. Sure.
Yes, sir. We will. And of course, as always on X Talking Ish, we will see y'all on next Tuesday, 9:00. We appreciate everybody for tuning in as always, and we'll see y'all next week. X Talking Ish. See y'all next week. Thank you.